right, theater. This is the Globe, isn't it? Sorry I'm late. I'm Yorick, Denmark's #1 court jester. Or should I say was. Welcome. Nice to meet you. So, you've all just sat through Cymbeline or some such nonsense, have you? And now you want to go home. Well, there's been a change of plans.
What?
The curtain call, Cymbeline or whatever it was, cancelled, on hold indefinitely.
Okie dokie, I'm going home then.
I don't think so, Max. Not yet. I've locked all the doors. I am one character in search of an audience, and you guys are it. It's just you, and me, and Max, the house manager. Or perhaps just you and me.
Whoops, sorry about that.
Amateurs. The theatre's plagued with them. Have you noticed that? Why is it that nobody seems capable of rising to my level? 'Twas bad enough when Shakespeare reduced me to a skull, albeit the very attractive one you now have before you. Have you any idea how many productions of Hamlet there have been, And in every single one, I'm dismissed as inconsequential. My head gets tossed from actor to actor like a basketball, and then set aside for the stagehands to put in a box at the end of the night. And the cast parties. Let me tell you a thing or two about what goes on at those. Oh, yes. I'm everyone's favorite prop once the curtain falls. I've had college students drinking martinis from my eye sockets at 2 a.m. I've had professional actors who should know better using me as a hand puppet. I've had, well, never mind. It's a disgrace, I tell you. And after 400 years, I've had enough. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, I've dragged my weary soul from beyond the grave and traipsed in here tonight in this manifestation of my once oh too solid flesh to set the record straight. So, let's get tonight's little tete-a-tete underway, shall we? Max, give me some light, please. That's better. Now we have all the ingredients of good theater. A well-lit stage, an attentive audience. That's you. A brilliant cast, me, and the nail-biting drama of The Jester's Tale.
Yorick?
Must you interrupt?
Shall I give the others their 5-minute call?
What? No, are you not paying attention? I'm the star tonight.
Alright, but you know how they are. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay no attention to the technical staff. Let's start with Hamlet, shall we? If any of you had the foresight to bring a copy of the text with you, I encourage you to follow along. Let's start by turning to Act 5, Scene 1. Act 5 indeed. Half the audience has gone home by then. Why not bring me on in Act 1, Scene 1? God knows the play's long enough. Oh well, no use crying over spilled blood. We'll just set the scene and move on. Now, as you will note from the text, Horatio and I are the only persons for whom young Hamlet voices unwavering love. He calls the queen an incestuous whore. He sends Ophelia away. He even thinks his father's spirit may be vile and of hell. But me, this is what he says about me. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. And so he would have continued on in tones of praise and love, if prissy little Ophelia hadn't chosen that moment to be buried and interrupted my only seed.
Oh, boo-hoo. Cry me a river, Yorick, so that I might row myself into it.
You again!
You can't say I didn't warn you. You know how they hate to be out of the spotlight.
Back to your pretty speech, Yorick. How does it go again? My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips I've kissed I know not how oft. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing. Yes, my lord. Dost thou think Alexander the Great looked of this fashion in the air? Even so, my lord. Smelt so?
See you here, Ophelia. He likens me to Alexander the Great.
To what's left of Alexander's festering corpse.
And he says he kissed me. That shows affection.
Oh, he kissed me too, and look where it got me.
She's got a point, Yorick. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, and that something is you.
Lady Macbeth, I wish Shakespeare's heroines were a little less inclined to off themselves. It does tend to make the haunting business rather crowded. Next thing you know, we'll have that snotty-nosed Juliet mooning about.
A rogue or any other knave would smell as sweet.
Excuse me, I'm trying to give a performance here.
Yes, Yorick. We're only here to help. What's eating you anyway?
Ooh, worms?
Oh, Yorick is just skulking because his career is dead.
Look, I'm rather busy.
Theater is one of those businesses where it can be rather hard to get ahead.
I'm presenting an important work of literature to...
Oh, yes, Yorick was destined to act. Perhaps he was bone to it.
That's true, of course, yet he remains in the wings.
Do you mind?
Yes, Juliet, why don't you just let him carry on?
But wait! Is that a cadaver I see before me?
That's it. Shut the hell up, foul creatures! Heaven help us. Women in the stage. Ridiculous. The things modern theater gets away with in the name of feminism. It's enough to make your hair curl. But what of corpsism? Written off with the existentialist is pointless. But I digress. Back to our first and only performance of The Justice Tale. The story of a noble justice slighted who kills everyone in a fit of vengeance and...
Should I cue the ghost music now?
Oh, what now?
List! 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 Oh! I know you! You're a fool!
I beg your pardon, sire?
A fool! You know I caught Chester!
That's right, sire. I was, in fact, the court jester.
Oh.
Yorick.
Yes! Yorick! You were my favorite court entertainer at one point. Although I did quite like that other guy. What was his name? Oz?
Osric, sire.
Oh yes! Osric!
A hack.
I beg your pardon?
Alack! I said alack. I hear he's dead.
Oh! The best people are these days. Did you know I was murdered? My own brother poured poison into my ear.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
Heaven? I don't think so. But nice chatting with you, Merrick. I must be off. I have a family and a kingdom to haunt.
Peace. At last. So, the Jester's Tale. It all happened the night of Hamlet's departure for Wittenberg. The old king was still alive then. He and Queen Gertrude threw a celebration banquet in honor of their son. I was asked to assemble the players and provide a dumb show pertaining to the event. Naturally, I played the king. The crown fit me very well. I was utterly convincing and had the audience in the palm of my hand for once, instead of the other way around. In my dumb show, the king, me, graciously granted his noble son passage across the foreign seas to seek a higher education. And, being of a poetic disposition, I included a wonderful scene in which the king symbolically poured knowledge and advice into Hamlet's ear. Unfortunately, however, it gave Claudius, the king's brother, ideas. Not yet, you idiot! I would like to finish my speech without further attention-stealing distractions, if you don't mind.
Sorry?
Our performance was met with great acclaim. Prince Hamlet left for England, and I was on a fast track to being Chief Coordinator of Court Entertainment. And then, a few days later, as I was reclining in the orchard going over my lines for a performance of Pyramus and Thisbe in which I was to star the coming Sunday, Claudius snuck upon me, forced me to the ground, and poured a vial of poison in my ear.
Do I enter now?
Look, the Jester's Tale was meant to be a one-man show. Oh, very well, as long as you promise to support my through line. Although I really don't see why reenactment is necessary. Death was slow and painful. An awful experience, one to be avoided if you get the opportunity. And I sincerely regret that you won't. But I succumbed after a valiant struggle and lay lifeless beneath the apple tree. A starring moment, one might think. But no, even in life I was cast as the understudy. My murder at the hands of Claudius, nothing more than a dress rehearsal for the event that was to spawn Shakespeare's crowning glory. And, let's face it, by the time we get to the end of Hamlet, after stabbings and drownings and envenomed sword fights, who remembers Yorick? Who acknowledges my vital contribution? Who mourns me? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be kept in the wings no longer. The Jester's Tale is nearly complete. And this is where you come in. I need a real closer. Something big and splashy. Something to really knock 'em dead. And so, to that end, I am prepared to die again for my art. And I shall take you with me in a final bloody showdown that will top the last scene of the world's greatest play. Hamlet might end with a body count pushing past the half dozen. But the Jester's Tale will make Kill Bill look like an episode of Barney.
I didn't know Hamlet was the world's greatest play. Is that what he just said?
Well, I always liked the one called Romeo and Me.
Will you shut up? This is not about you.
That shovel doesn't look too sharp. What's the plan, Yorick? Take them out one by one? They don't look too smart, but I'm sure they're bright enough to make a run for it.
What about a poison gas bomb?
Shut up, I say, or else.
And your poison. How about we activate the sprinkler system and flood the place?
You and your drownings.
Okay, now I am sure Yorick only chose the shovel because then he'd have to hack them to death.
If you don't shut up, I'll finish up all three of you while I'm at it. Oh, what's the use? It will never work. No one listens to a talking head. They're all dead anyway. The only difference being, nobody's dying to play me. I just wanted to be taken seriously. Is that so crazy? I mean, isn't that the thrust of all drama? Want that goes unfulfilled? I could have been more.
Othello was the more. But cheer up, Yorick. You really were a great fool. Perhaps the greatest. A skull to remember.
Skulls. In the end, that's all we are. Incomplete skeletons praying for actors to flesh us out. Nothing but the ghosts left behind by tragedy.
At least we get to haunt the theater once the paid show is done.
Put down that shovel and let's go to the Headless Horseman for a post-show beer.
Come on, Yorick. We promise we won't drink anything out of your eye sockets.
Oh, very well.
We're done here. Max, you can turn the ghost light on and close up when you're ready.
Night, miss.
Till next time. The stage hasn't seen the last of us yet. How's it, Yorick?